We got Project Basher up on car ramps. And the reason is, when I bought the vehicle, I seen that the two mounting bolts that go through the cross member for the front differential were missing. So threw some zip ties in it to get it home. As long as we don't run it in as long as I don't drive it in four-wheel drive, the diff shouldn't move around, and it proved to be true. You can see where it has moved. The nose of it, I guess the pinion end of the front diff comes up, and the flange where the U-joint hits has gotten into the transmission housing case, and the one mounting bolt that goes straight down to that bracket that's missing the bolts had come up and got into the oil pan. Now, nothing's hitting in the engine. We may lose a little bit of capacity, so it might show a little bit over full because there's a dent in the oil pan, but I'm okay with that. So I'm gonna get under there and I'll show you what's going on, and then I found a parts book online that told me what size of bolts. They're supposed to be 30 millimeter, 10 millimeter by 1.25. That's the thread pitch, and the length is 30 millimeters. So I went to the bolt store, High Strength, and got the bolts. So I will attempt to go under there and get them installed. The bracket, the diff's going to have to be moved around a little bit, so I got to grab a pry bar and an alignment tool of some sort, and we'll get after it. Okay, there's the front diff. There's the cross member, and sorry about the shakiness. You can see the mounting bolt there, and there's another one on the other side of the bracket. I don't know if I can get light on it for you to see it, but there's another one right in there, and they both go up through this cross member. They go through this cross member, and there's the other one through the cross member. Now I'm surprised that the zip ties survived the trip, but they did. So what I'm going to do is cut those zip ties out, and you can see that one's not quite in alignment, so I'm going to have to move the differential and bracket around a little bit to get the bolt started. What I've done so far is I have, if that flashlight will stay there, I have quite a tool inventory, and I've got a set of snap-on thread chasers, and this is let's see if we can see it, 10 by 1.25. So I will attempt to get the bolts. I get the bolts in there, I'll show you what else I'm going to do. I got them a little bit long. I'm hoping they're long enough that I'll be able to put a nut on the top side and lock them in. I'll have to get nuts because I wasn't sure if those bolts were correct, but we will get on it. Just give me a few minutes here. It might take me 10 or 15 minutes. Oh, I'll show you where that mounting bolt got up into the oil pan there. You can see it. I don't know, maybe you can see it better on this side. Not sure 100% here. Yeah, you can see where that bolt got up into the oil pan. And then the flange on the drive line gets up into the bell housing transmission area. There's your front drive line, and you can see the shiny spot on the case there, where that flange, the shininess on the flange, that the flange was rubbing on it, and that stopped it, that bolt, from going all the way through the through the oil pan. Saved me a big headache. So I'm glad it wasn't as bad as it was, but thankfully I found it before I bought it, so it's not a big surprise to me. All right, we'll be back in a minute to get on this. Well, I got it in. I got one of them in. And you see how long that is? It's as tall as that. You can get a good look right there. It's as tall as that mount next to it. So the other one has to fit inside there. You can see the nut, the captured nut there. So it comes up and hits that bracket. So I'm gonna have to go get a shorter one. The book lied to me. 30 millimeters is too long. I think probably 20 millimeter is probably going to be the right size. I'm going to look up in there. It's hard to get the light where you can see at the same time. So there's the one bolt, and then the other side is lined up now. At least it's lined up anyway. It's going to be easy to put the bolt in. And I'll grab a couple of nuts, at least one nut, so I can put a nut up on top of that one and jam it on there with a wrench. This diff is not coming loose again, and I don't mind pulling an extra nut just to be sure we're not going to have any problems. Okay, got the bolts installed, and I put lock nuts on them. There's a lock nut there and a lock nut there. And I blue Loctited them. So they're not coming out of there now. They're in there. This will never happen to this again. So that's another thing taken off the list. I'm going to hold off on messing with that. I'm going to hold off. I don't have the gasket to put back in there. I don't know if there's a donut or what. It looks like it. Oh, the pipe's cracked too. I see a crack right there in the pipe. I don't know if you can see that. There's a little crack there. So it won't do no good to change the gasket anyway. I got to get a new pipe, a new down pipe there. I wonder if I can get that. I'm going to go look. I'll spray them down. I'll start spraying them down today. I'll spray them every day for a week with Croil, and hopefully they can come out. But overall, the vehicle's not in too bad a shape. I don't see any major rust in the frame really, and I'm not seeing any rust in the floorboards or the body, right? Floor pans. The U-joints are all. The U-joints look good. They're not loose, so. I haven't done a front end inspection on it all the way to check the ball joints and the tie rod ends and all that, but driving it felt pretty solid. Pardon me, it did pull to one side, but that could be because that tire might be low. I didn't check the air pressure in the tires like a big idiot. See the bottom of that radiator. Let's take a look at that. So the bottom of the radiator don't look too awful bad. If I have to change the radiator, I'll change the radiator, but it's not leaking. And it didn't overheat. It stayed nice and cool, and it was like 98 degrees when I was driving it on the highway. And I was surprised at how fast this thing went. I was expecting top speed to be like, 60. Man, she flies. She does 75. See, the sway arm bushing does need to be changed, though. That don't look right. But maybe it is. I don't know. Let's see if we can rattle it around. No, it's tight. That bushing does look like it's seen better days, though. But we'll let it go for now. Does look like it's gotten a new alternator on it. I don't know if you can see that up in there behind. Yeah, see, looks like it got a new alternator. Not 100% sure, but the charging system does work good on it. So